Hello and welcome to another quick look. Me, Game06, of another furry visual novel. This one, a game that I downloaded mainly for the H content, but then as I went into the first minute or two of the game, the creator was like, yeah, there is H content in this game, but there's also good story to it, and I thought, you know what, I should do a furry visual novel quick look of this game. Because hey, it's a free video. Free real estate. But, before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it for free on Subscribestar, Patreon, I think, and F95 Zone. Right there. And if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the newest version earlier, you can go to their Patreon or Subscribestar, which is $5 a month. And yeah, I'm not sure if I would be able to do this game as a Let's Play. I'm definitely going to be doing it on my own time as well. But, yeah, if you have any other suggestions for furry visual novels, then tell me, and I'll add it to the list of games to do quick looks of. And as you can see by the fact that this entire screen is completely, censored, you can probably see why I'm like, I'm not sure if I can do a Let's Play of this game. It would be a lot of censoring. Hecking YouTube. So yeah, they have certain interesting content in this game, as you can see from their preferences, which is sharing, NTR, cuckolding, which I thought were pretty similar things, but I guess, this is what the person that made this game interprets as NTR being non-consensual cheating, and cuckolding being consensual cheating, and then some other stuff. Hyena? But is there anything else? Not that I can think of. I guess all that's left for me to do is reset my face and clear my throat. And start. Yeah, I've only gone to part of the, not really prologue, but synopsis of the early part of the game. Anyways. Hi, I'm Wistala, your game dev, and one of the characters featured in Broken Sky. Before we get started, I want to go over a couple things with you. This is a very early version of the game, with many incomplete features, potential grammatical errors, and bugs, just like that one. I've read that 3 times already, still don't see the grammatical error. All of the current music, sound effects, and backgrounds are placeholders until I have time and budget to have them custom made. You should take the time now to open the Preferences menu. Here, you'll find toggles for some of the various fetishes in the game. Hover over each one to learn how I'm defining it. What would you... I guess cuckolding can also be like, sharing? Wait, isn't there sharing? I don't know. Never mind. These options are used to set persistent choice with Renpy. I guess that's a character. And will affect both your scene and replay menu, and what you see in the game. My personal recommendations is to leave them turned on, as all content is avoidable through your actions. But if you'd like certain content to not even be mentioned, then turn them off. One final thing before you start, the game's story is not simple filler in between the porn, which is why I'm like, yeah, maybe I should do this as a quick look. Which I know that is what you're mostly here for. Kind of like Shelter. Sorry for a side note, but how I got back into furry visual novels? It was Shelter. Because I was like, okay, let's see how the porn is. And then I was bored. Well, I didn't see porn immediately, so I shelved that game. And then later I was bored, so I was like, well, I'm going to check out this game and actually read the story. It's like, this is funny. I'm gonna read it. Oh, but what happens if I do visual novels of it? On YouTube. Anyways, I put a lot of effort into making the story just as enjoyable as the porn, so I ask you at least give it a chance. If it's not for you, that's okay, and I understand. You can unlock all the scenes in the gallery with a button press at the end of the current content, so there's no need to worry about missing things. Just enjoy the game and story at your own pace. Would you like to read the introduction? No! I'm joking. Russia officially announced its surrender to the United Global Powers in the year 2192, marking global unification under the single banner for the first time in human history. Humanity was reaching a golden age of technology, and the standard of living skyrocketed. Not to say that the world had become a perfect place, but the citizenry was overall satisfied. If I would have to say any two countries I would resist, that, I think it would either be the United States or China. Global unification? Sorry, I need to clear my throat again. There we go. Peace reigned for almost 50 years under the UGP until an event we now know as the Collision occurred. The Collision was a near-apocalyptic level event in which the fabric of reality tore apart at the seams and our world was merged together with another version of our own. So, basically the Super Mario Bros. Movie? The one from the 90s. The result was chaos. Buildings fused into the sides of hills. Some smaller towns disappearing in an instant, swallowed up by lakes or mountainous areas. While the destruction was great, matter that was similar enough to what it came into contact with was simply fused and largely undisturbed. I wonder how that would work. However, the collision itself was not the greatest disaster of the time. The denizens of the parallel realm, my people, while similar to humans in many aspects, had great powers and the physical characteristics of animals. Much more terrifying than our appearance to humans was our ability to wield what was initially referred to as magic. Recent study of our abilities revealed that our powers were not magic, but rather the latent ability of genetics that allows us to call upon unseen energies that course throughout the world. Scientists do not yet fully understand this energy or how to utilize it, but the study of it is still ongoing. After a week of extremely high tensions in the wake of the collision, the UGP declared war on my people. But why? We quickly became known as demi-humans, or often just demis. Demis? The war was a brutal one. We may have had the advantage in physical strength and the use of our powers, but we had no command structure or advanced technologies. Up until now, our world had been peaceful. Our lower population, meaning there were plentiful resources and no reason to wage wars. Rough estimates puts the population at roughly 10-1 in favor of the humans. I don't know why my throat's being all icky today. It wasn't until almost a year after the war began that we began coordinating with one another on any kind of large scale as members of our society rose up to take leadership. Also, it is kind of weird to be like, yeah, these people really didn't interact with each other, but we declared war on them. It's like, huh. Peace was only obtained 100 years later when it became clear that continuing the conflict any longer would likely result in complete mutual annihilation. It's been 6 years since the end of the war. Humans have stopped referring to us as demis, and instead taken on the term anthros, with the term demi being used as a slur meaning less than human. I wish I could say I don't still hear the term demi regularly, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't. We've begun integrating into human society. Those of us that choose to live inside human cities experience large amounts of discrimination, but things are gradually improving. Due to the brutal nature of the human-anthro war, the populations of both our species were greatly reduced, and the cities that remain intact, despite the conflict, have an abundance of empty housing. Employment is easy to find, and society is slowly beginning to recover. I can understand if, a lot of people die, there would be more resources and places to live, I guess, like housing maybe, but employment, maybe not so much, because employment's a supply-demand thing. Sorry. I'm just being... Throat, can you please not be like this? I swear, I'm trying my best. But my throat isn't. Ooh. So, where do you fit into this story? Many of the routes and customization choices are still in development. Many of the selection options have been left in so that you can see what is planned out in the future. If you'd like to see more customization options added, please consider supporting the game on Patreon or Subscribestar. All the characters' art was done by the wonderful Ari Dolinia. Let's see, that's a link, right? Oh, it does bring us to a page. Well, I think I'm going to watch them. Boop. Hyena. The game's startup animation was made by Quinn NSFW. Might as well click them. Oop, no, back. Oh, it brings us to... Oh, that person. Yeah, I remember them. Let's get to know you a little bit more. Are you male or female? No, this is now a placeholder, as only the male route is available. Okay, we got a Willy. What is your name? Is there default? Oh, okay. Dark. This game functions on a few core stats, namely strength, dexterity, intelligence, and charisma. These stats will determine your options you have available to you in dialogues. Sorry that I'm doing that thing where I'm like reading one word at a time. And when making choices about actions to take. By default, all of your core stats start at 0 and can be increased through certain events in the game, and can be given a starting boost depending on your species and class. Wait. Okay, I guess we could be Anthro. I thought you were just human. Some actions in the game will be unique to certain species and certain classes. The following options will have an effect on one of your core stats. Know that your stats will not influence your ability to romance characters in any way. Only your decisions and your personality will factor into that. Core stats only reflect your ability to get through certain situations. Can it be human? Only human body is ready at this time. Bugger. Okay. Humans are average. Yeah, we are. In stats, and receive no physical bonus, but are able to make a to use a wide array of equipment. She sells seashells by the seashore, and will experience less discrimination. Charisma +1. Is this your species? Unfortunately, yes. As almost everyone alive today, you would have served in the war to some capacity. You received extra training after being recognized for your aptitude. What is your specialization? Close combat, specialist, technician, covert operations, emissary. I guess this is strength, maybe intelligence, dexterity, and charisma. Maybe I'd go for the intelligence part, because I wouldn't want to be, doing the things that are, fighting those guys, the foes. The technician uses it. Oh yeah, I got it right. Using the latest combat technology, from hacking, fixed turrets, to automated logs, and other human integrated AIs. The technician is a master of technology. Is this your specialization? It would be like, what turrets are we hacking into? I thought that, the foes didn't have much technology. We'll just look at all the things. Technician? Yeah. Your character may react to different events that happen to them based on whether or not they have more submissive or dominant personality. Your personality can change over time depending on the decisions you make. You will not be able to perform certain actions depending on your dominant versus submissive score. If your personality is not pushed towards being more dominant or submissive, you will default to whichever way your partner prefers you. Oh, it's not like if we're submissive we get cucked all the time? Ooh, ooh. Make your decisions carefully. Things change drastically depending on your personality. When to say you are more dominant or submissive? With the ladies, maybe this, but with the guys, that. So let's say middle. So, it looks like you're a human male named Dark, whose specialization is ignition. You tend to be more of a neutral individual. Here's an overview of your starting stats. Everything's 0 except for intelligence and charisma. Does everything look correct, or should I start over again? Well, let's just say it's correct. Ew. Is this AI generated? Kinda looks like it. Nothing as horrible as seeing AI generate things where it's funny but in a horrible way, like having the one where it's like a bunch of Christmas characters singing and they have multiple jaws and it's like, ugh. You blink, your eyes open, and look around, examining the all too familiar lobby of your workplace. This is Tala Pharmaceuticals, one of the biggest companies in the world, and the only multi-billion credit business with an Anthro as a CEO. It's also one of the only companies in the world that advertises itself as an equal opportunity employer for both humans and Anthros. Oh, I know the conservatives are gonna hate that. Well, that was a strange, out-of-body experience. I've gotta stop daydreaming on the job. I just shrug off that thought. You lift your head to see one of your co-workers headed your way. Their outline seems blurred, and your memory is a little clouded. Her name is Default Lily. That's right, her name's Lily. She started the security job around the same time I did. And audio seems to be okay. Granted, I don't tend to, I really should put on my other computer and be like, hey, how does it sound from a speaker? Because for some reason, sound going into a headphone sounds so much different than sound going into a speaker. Like, between voice levels and game levels. And I have no idea why. As you remember her name, other details start coming back to you. You remember she was an anthropheline, pink fur, green eyes, and bubbly personality. If your main character has an affection score towards you, the player, the score is not just a measure of their affection towards you, but how you feel towards them as well. Which, I don't know. Sorry, I was just thinking about different games. Sorry for all these tangents. It was like, okay, I can understand how another nation liking us would affect us, but I don't know how our nation feels against another nation deals with them in certain games, like Empire Total War. But anyways, sorry. Certain choices will affect this rating, even if the other character is unaware of what you chose. Okay? As she gets close to me, I can't help but feel annoyed. You only took this job for the pay, not to make new friends. Excited, nothing wrong with the cute feline. Neutral, just a coworker. No, when a mate. Even though Lily was an anthu, I couldn't help feeling the smell form on my lips as she walks towards me. She's always been friendly and upbeat, but lately I found myself starting to admire her. Ooh. Your head was clearing up rapidly, but you couldn't quite shake the feeling that something had been changing the world right in front of you. Those thoughts were pushed aside as Lily reached where you were standing. Good morning, Dark. Looks like you had a long night, huh? I could tell you were spacing out from all the way across the lobby. Here, maybe this will help. Lily extends her paw forward, offering a small styrofoam cup. The dark black color of the liquid, the intoxicating aroma, gives it away as coffee. Hell yeah, I love coffee. Other except cup 3, thank her. No, I didn't need any coffee from her, throw it in her face. Sorry, take the cup and say nothing. Good thing these choices are easy. It's like, if you thank them, they will like that. Instead of certain games where it's like, well, do you believe in true love or not? We'll have sex depending on what you choose. Thanks, Lee. I really need this today. He gave her a warm smile as you take your first sip of that blessed caffeinated liquid gout. Ah, that really hits the spot. Thanks again, and it's good to see you this morning. Your obvious attempts to flirt are sad at best, but she doesn't seem to take much notice. But we got +1 charisma. Anytime, Dark. I best be getting back to my station. Try not dozing off again, okay? She gives you a playful wink and walks quickly back across the lobby, settling at her intake station. Sipping leisurely and on your coffee, you take a minute to survey the lobby. You've been assigned as a lobby surveillance today, so there wasn't much for you to do but stand to one side and observe as people came and went. Lily, on the other hand, had been assigned to check-ins today, so you observed her checking IDs and monitoring people through the metal corridor at Metal Detector. That's where I can read. You're lost in thought for some time. Your earlier concerns about your momentary out-of-body experience slipping away in the familiar surroundings. You're suddenly drawn out of your reverie by an intense prickling at the back of your neck. You feel as if someone is standing directly behind you, and close. You turn your head to find the space behind you vacant, but the uneasy feeling remains. You turn around fully and look out the large lobby window. There's no one immediately visible in the courtyard. As you look over the empty, grassy area outside, a glint of flashlight off of a surface catches your eye for a brief moment. Get down! When you look that way, you see a small circular object floating a few feet off the ground, its golden surface reflecting a bit of the sun towards you. Can't make out much of the detail on the strange object before you're startled by the hand clasping you down firmly on your shoulder from behind. You turn with a start, nearly spilling your coffee, to see Oliver, your best friend of the last few years, grinning at you. Geez, Lily was right. You really do seem out of it today. Did you go on some kind of rager without inviting me? I'm hurt. You shrug off his hand and turn back to look at him. What? A guy can admire the landscape outside when his work is boring to him? Besides, I doubt there's a party that happened in this city without you being there, or at least knowing about it. Okay, you and your bedroom eyes. Quit looking at me with them eyes. I guess you got me there. We should go out for some drinks after work today. It's been a while since we got to hang out, and I've got to tell you about this crazy goth chick I met the other night. Okay, you got me a goth chick. I let out a small sigh. Oliver has always been a playboy, and probably drank a little more than was healthy, but he's a good friend. Misogynistic comments aside, I mean, hey, I drink way more than is healthy. Drinks sound like a good idea, but I'm guessing you're not going to tell me about the girl. You're going to tell me about the girl, whether I want to hear it or not. He clamps you on the shoulder again. You guessed it. There's a slight pause as he glances across the room. Speaking of hot chicks, I'd like to bag. He gestures over towards Lily. There's something I'd like to take for a ride. Wild ride. I can read. If you'd like a Netto Rare / Netto Raise free game, it's best to avoid encouraging Oliver shenanigans, or make sure to mark companions as yours quickly, or simply turn it off in the preference menu. Certain scenes with more extreme content will have the option to skip them, or roll back to a previous choice before they play. You can avoid these scenes altogether by returning your choice. Let's just look at the choices again. Because there was what was it again? This is extreme? Ooh, snuff and gore? Man. For some reason, no wait, I was gonna say vor. No, just gore. It was is there snakes? Scary. But anyways. Or you can have the events of the scene occur even if you do not wish to view the CG associated with it. There's something I like to take for a wild ride. I'd like to watch that. I wonder if it's like these two are marking her. Yeah, I like men. Let's just do that. See where it goes. She is seriously hot, but I'm into her for more than that. She might just be the one for me, you know? He gives you a slow nod. His normally goofy and laid-back demeanor ever so slightly more serious. Damn, he caught the feelings hard and dark. Alright, I can respect that. You can count on me as your wingman. I can do the other hole. He turns to walk away. Alright, time to get back to work. Don't forget drinks after our shift. As if, ask if Lily will come too, since you two have patrolled together later. Now also, let's see what happens if we pick the other one. Yeah, which would, unfortunately, I'm gonna make her all mine, and you can just watch and be jealous. Damn. Didn't know you feel that way. Does this mean that she's gonna be open? Because I don't think it'll be much of a competition. Lily was way too good for you. You just keep living your own little fantasy. Huh, interesting. Oh, let's just do that one. He holds his hand and take it, giving a firm shake. Keep your options open. He turns to walk away. Alright, it's time to get back to work. Don't forget drinks after a shift. Let's see if Lily will come too for later. He nods and turn back to look for the object that caught your attention before Oliver made his way over, only to find no trace of it. I mean, I guess, at this point, we do want to bang her, but, keep our options open. I don't know if it's just her, though. Just saying. What a weird fucking morning. A few uneventful hours later, it was time to change positions. Cowgirl? You met up with Lily inside the security staff room and head outside to start your patrol of the building premises. Oh, nice. When exiting the building, the first thing that always struck you was the cliff that loomed overhead, just at the outskirts of the city. I guess it's not a picture. The cliff had become somewhat of a world wonder. Before the collision, the city had expanded off into the same direction, turning from city center to an expansive residential area. The large wall of stone that extended up into the air had been a result of the collision itself. Terrain was largely the same, from your world to the Anthos, but this had been one of the few exceptions. It would be horrifying just being collided into matter. This particular shift had been one of the most deadly across the planet, with hundreds of thousands of people losing their lives in the stone. Just having a whole bunch of people and shit just inside the ground. For some reason, I was like, what about all the Anthos are on top of the thing? And then all of a sudden the cliff's gone, but I guess, worlds collide and all that stuff. So it's basically The Witcher. But today, the cliff had become known as the Great Maw due to the number of people it swallowed up in the instant during the collision. You began to circle the edge of the building's premises with Lily. The Tala Pharmaceuticals headquarters had been constructed after the conclusion of the war, making it the newest addition to the city skyline. Many of the buildings surrounding its location had been damaged during the skirmishing over the city, and so had been torn down before its construction. This allowed the building to have large fenced-off areas of land all around it that served for modest gardens and walkways, and the entrance to its own underground parking area. Your patrol saw you walking just inside the fences. simultaneously checking for damage and suspicious persons that might be loitering in the less quiet areas of the courtyard. The peak of the building loomed over you, and you couldn't help but spare the occasional glances up towards the top. The very top of the building was home to a glass dome that reflected the sun down towards you. Supposedly, this is where the CEO's office was located, though you never had been up there yourself. If I was, rich and had a big company, it would be kind of nice to have, some kind of big fancy dome at the top of a building, kind of like, I don't know, evil guys things where they have, a building inside a glass dome on top of a building, but also two things. One, I feel like I can feel the sway of buildings when you're, more than 50 feet up or 50 stories up, which would feel uncomfortable. But then also B, if you had a glass dome, that thing's probably a bitch to cool off. Unless it's reflective or tinted or triple paned. Lily must have noticed you glancing towards the top since you spoke up. I'm constantly amazed at human achievements. We didn't have anything close to things like this in our world. She spares a glance at the top of the building itself. I know she didn't physically build it herself, but Wistala sure is incredible. So wait. Is the person that was talking to us the CEO? Do you know a lot about Wistala? Honestly, don't know much at all, other than that she's the CEO, and she's an anthro. Come to think of it, I don't think I've ever seen a picture of her. I know about as much as any other anthro, I'd say. She's a hero to us. So we all know at least a little bit, I'd imagine. She was... Fuck. I'm trying to read, but all of a sudden my reading abilities suck. Was there some you want to know? She's a hero? We call her hero because she's one of the first united us during the Human Info Woe. I know you weren't around at the start of the war, but it was pretty bad for us. We had no concept of military strategy, or leadership for that matter. I feel like if you're going against a spread out, depopulized group, you really wouldn't have to declare war on them. I don't know. The communities were only about a couple thousand large at biggest. Okay, if that's 1,000 large, then okay. And we had no overarching government, so when the fighting started, we were being wiped out rapidly. I'm sure most of us are individually strong when compared to a human, even an armed human, but we couldn't do anything against the overwhelming numbers and technology we were facing. Wistala was the first to make a real united effort. She gathered those among us who could use teleportation and telepathy until she had unified us under a singular command. It took some time, but we eventually learned to mimic your military command structure. Years later, she was one that negotiated the peace between humans and anthros. And now, she made this company where humans and anthros are hired equally and without discrimination. Even though there were anti-discrimination laws in place for anthros, it was true that they were rarely enforced. Most human-run business would outright refuse to hire anthro employees. Well, I'd hire all of them. Not just for sex reasons, but anyways. I've heard there are some anthros that worship her like a god, but I think that's just silly. She may be an incredible individual, but she's immortal, just like the rest of us. How are we get started? Oh, we're gonna be doing that for a while. Oh, I kind of thought you know more about that than me. I don't really understand all the nuances of human corporations, but I can tell what little you do know. The company grew much faster than the average business. Part of that, I'm sure, was needed for medications in a rather dangerous post-war world. Even given that, this is already the largest pharmaceutical company in the world. So, speculation is that Wistala received funding from the UGP to make this corporation as a sign of goodwill from humans to anthros. That being said, it doesn't make a lot of sense that information wouldn't just be public knowledge, but also highly broadcasted. I'm afraid that is all I know on the subject. Sorry, I couldn't be of more help than that. What are you? Let's play the racism game. Lily gets a big grin on her face, just enough to show the sharp point of her canines. I was gonna say canine, but fox? Oh, right, feline. She's a feline, just like me. Oh, you mean the lady. Okay. At least, that's what we've been told. I've never even seen her. I've heard rumors that she might be multi-species, since she has a somewhat strangely shaped tail, and even a few crazy rumors that she secretly has wings that keeps them hidden. I'm not sure how much faith to put in those rumors though. If she really was multi-species, I likely would have known of her before the collision happened, since we tend to treat them as sort of like your celebrities. Is it because interspecies combinations are a bit rare to have? Tell me more about anthropowers. I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit more about anthropowers and how they work. Yeah, I can do that. I'm sure you know the basics already. Every anthro is different, but all of our abilities function in a similar way. So basically you can do Shadow Clone Jutsu or something? Any one of us can have 2, 1, or no powers at all. Those with 2 powers tend to be smaller and weaker than the average human regardless of species. An anthro with 1 power will usually be about the same strength and speed as a human, and an anthro with no powers will usually have superior strength and speed when compared to that of a human. There are some exceptions to this, of course. For instance, dragonoids are never born with a power, but the strength and speed are impossible to match. Certain species are more likely to develop a power of a certain type. Avians typically have healing powers, but it isn't a guarantee. As far as we know, with the exception of a few species, powers are acquired randomly, and powers of the parents have no influence on what their offspring will develop. There's some rare instances where anthros have been born with no powers, but still have only average strength and speed, but that's exceedingly rare. Lastly, the greatest exception to this rule are anthros of more than one species. Normally, we can only mate inside our same species. Not to say we don't take partners of other species, but we can't usually make an offspring that way. We're not trying hard enough. Rarely, though, it happens that a crossbreed is born, an anthro with physical characteristics from one of the species. From the species of both parents can be exceedingly powerful. They'll have superhuman strength. Not super anthro strength, speed, while also being able to use 1 or even 2 powers. Some anthros even worship those of multiple species like gouds, but I have never thought of that, been into that. How do you use powers? So, sorry, I'm just moving my legs. Maybe you're set my face to check the time. Ooh, I thought we had less time. I want to get more into this. Just saying. So can anthros use their powers endlessly, or is there some cost associated with it? We can't use them indefinitely, no. Whenever we use an ability, it takes a toll on our mental state. I've heard some anthros refer to it as your willpower. I'm not sure if that's exactly right, but it gets the idea across. The more we use the power, the harder it becomes to focus on that little spark inside of us that draws power out, until eventually we can't call it at all anymore. Practicing using your power can extend how many times and to what intensity you can use it, just like exercising a muscle. What about your power? So what power do you have? She gives you a mischievous grin. Why? Planning to do something to me? Or could it be you're interested in learning more about me? Maybe. You let out a quiet sigh. Please don't make me regret asking. Boo, no fun. She gives you a warm smile. I don't have any powers, but that means I can do things like this. Before you can react, she grabs you by your hips and lifts you, easily tossing you a few inches above her head before catching you and sending you back down. Okay, that's hot, but also, it'd be crazy to be tossed in the air when you're not a child. It's weirdly hot. Would that be a plus for her? You feel the flush in cheeks as you think of just how much power can mutate in that slim body. You quickly shake your head and push those thoughts out of your mind. Please don't toss me in the air like that. Let's just get on like that. Let's just get on the topic. She laughs with a pleasant expression on her face. Sorry. I just couldn't miss the opportunity. The weapons if we pick the other one. Pretty cool. Go with the strength of your body. She looks a little disappointed that she didn't get any more reaction than that out of you. Okay, let's just do this one. Because it makes me horny. Anything you know about this company that I might not? Nothing that really pertains to us. The fun fact that I know is that many people are unaware that Tala Pharmaceuticals employ roughly 65% of the world's private military personnel. Employees? Huh. That's kinda weird. A look of disbelief on your face must have been the answer enough to what you thought of the claim. Lily laughs and holds up her paws in a mock defensive gesture. You don't believe me? Just ask your AI to look up and compile the data. There's no way that's true, but fine, I'll humor you. With a thought, you query your AI assistant to verify the claims. It only takes a moment before the results return. After computing various employment and contract data from PMCs across the globe, 32.7% of all contracts came from Tala Pharmaceuticals, just as Lilias claimed. Well, I'll be damned. Why does a pharmaceuticals company need that kind of military force? Lily simply shrugs. Who knows? But it's not that hard to believe. Just take a look at where we work. Really think about all the defenses in place this place has, and tell me it's not serious overkill for a pharmaceutical headquarters. She has a point. We're two of close to 100 guards for this building. Sorry, that just made my brain fart. We all wear body armor and carry MP7s. The lobby has an AI-powered defense turrets hidden in the recesses of the floor and ceiling. My security clearance won't even let me access several of the upper floors. I guess all the time I spent in the war had numbed me to just how extensive the defenses around this building were. Wow, you're right. I can't believe I've never thought about it before. It would take a small army to break in here. There's a confident smirk on her face, and her tail flicks side to side excitedly. She adopts a playful tone. I figured out all of that information without help of your fancy AIs. You can kneel before my superior intelligence anytime now. Uwu? Maybe I would bow, but it'd be like an overly dramatic bow. You know? Let's just do that. There is just a moment of hesitation before you kneel, one knee all the way to the ground, with your head bowed low. Of course, Lee, perhaps one day I'll be worthy enough to be in your presence. Uwu? Kink unlocked? You raise your head after a moment and look up at Lily to see her reaction. She's looking down at you. While she looks surprised, there is perhaps simultaneously a hint of supreme enjoyment. A moment later, you can hear the faintest sound of purring coming from her chest as she smiles down at you. It's about time I got recognition I deserved. That's a very good boy, Dark. Don't call me that. You can stand now. Okay, maybe you can call me that. Just saying. I don't know why that actually gets a reaction from me. This started as a joke, but looking up at Lily from this angle and hearing her words has definitely awakened something in you. You stand up quickly as you feel the heat racing to your face as you clear your throat. Right, just giving recognition where it's due. I think we should get moving again. We quickly trot off ahead, trying to cover your embarrassment and your boner. Around before the war? I heard you were describing life before the collision of your people, like you lived to yourself. I know Anthros live long lives, but just how old are you? She takes a minute to think. Oh yeah, I guess the war is 100 years. Wait, was it the war was 100 years old? And then this is 6 years after the war? Damn. I don't know my exact age. We don't really check birthdays like humans do. If I had to guess, I'd probably be around 200 years, but I really can't say for sure. Wow, she old. It's like, you know, in American terms, that's 2/3 of America's timeline. 200 years old? There's no way. Look, barely a day over 20. I mean, I knew Anthos age more slowly than humans, but that's insane. It's true though, I'm still considered to be relatively young as well, or at least I probably would have been before the war. There's a lot more of us younger than me now. Jeez, I wonder if their reproduction cycles would have to be slow comparatively. You know, especially since there was like 1 for every 10 humans. That's all the questions I have. Our patrol lasted a few uneventful hours until it was the time to call it a day. The two of you went back into the building, and were about to head to your separate locker rooms. Oh yeah, Oliver asked me to invite Lily to drink with us tonight. Yes. I mean, is it just gonna be me and him? 2 dudes drinking? Why would 2 dudes want to drink with each other? Oh, by the way, Lily, Oliver and I were going down to the bar to grab some drinks after work. You should come with us. I'd love to. I haven't been out for a drink in a long time. Is this place going to mind? Well, me? It was a valid question. The majority of establishments only welcomed either anthros or humans. It's pretty rare to find a place that would serve both. I mean, I guess 6 years after the war, and you know, big collision, a whole bunch of stuff, things wouldn't be so bad, you know. Don't worry. Sorry, reading gods. Hey, the first one for this one. But I guess it's because it's like 11 o'clock in the morning, daytime, noon-ish. Oliver and I know the owner of this place, and there won't be any trouble. You'll be the only anthro in this place, but if that doesn't bother you, everything will be fine. Then count me in. I'll run home and clean up a bit first. And me too there, okay? Sounds like a plan. I pull up my AI to link her the place. Then, remember, she doesn't have an implant. And I'd have to say, it would be kind of weird that's like, if, I know it's like different people, but like an increase in the global population by, fuck, I'm bad at math right now, let's say 11%. Especially if you have like utopian technology, I feel like it wouldn't be too hard, you know, to integrate them. So, do you have a phone or anything since you don't have an AI? Yeah, I do. You got Lily's number. You can now view your contacts from the AI menu. Click here to open your contacts. This menu will be unavailable during certain parts of the game. This is your AI homepage, where you can see all of the characters that you have contact information for. Click on the X to close the overlay and return to your previous screen. And click here to return to your contacts menu from any other section of your AI. Click here to open your stats screen, where you can find details about your character. Click arrows to move to the next pages of your contacts. Though right now, it looks like you'll need some more friends. Oh, sad. But true. You can click on a character portrait to find out more details about that character. I like it when games do that because there's so often games where it's like, let's say the smoke room, and it'll be like, Jacob, and it's like, Jacob, who the fuck's Jacob? Like, who got their head ripped off? I can't remember. Anything about a character will be kept here. Ooh, bisexual, you say? You can press the call button here to call the character if you're not sure where they are, but they won't always answer. You can only call a character from the map or in specific instances. feature not implemented, you said? Okay. You can click on the character to show more details about their sexual experiences. This may break your immersion, so we won't show it here. I might just keep my eyes closed and see what it's like. That's all that your eye can do for now, but we'll be updating software in the future to add more features. Ark? You alright? You spaced out a second there. Yeah, fine. Just thinking about how excited I am for drinks tonight. She looks mildly concerned, but decides not to question further. Alright, I'll see you both there tonight then. She gives you a wink, a quick wave, and she heads towards the other side of the building for the women's locker room. You get changed out of your work uniform and drop in the bin to be cleaned overnight. You head home to grab a quick shower before going to the bar. Wait, they clean this stuff for you? Let's see. But what happens if we do click? It's like, but I'll just click. Okay. Oh. I don't know. I didn't think that's what it would do. But does he get... Oh, he's grumpy. No, don't look at my stuff. No, note to self. Gonna have to censor that. It's a short walk from home, and you scan your fingerprint on the door before it slides open. Also, this is a nice place. At least it's spacious. You've lived in a small, one-bedroom apartment since you started working for Tausa Pharmaceuticals. Tausa. It's close to work and pretty affordable, and has some newer AI integration upgrades. Home system, prep hot water for a shower, and recommend casual outfits from the closet. My closet. Preparing shower. Here we have some recommendations for your outfits. Should I pull them out to the front of the wardrobe? Do you want slutty femboy? Yes, please. As you're undressing and getting ready for your shower, you notice an object out of place in your relatively tiny apartment. There's a round, golden object lying flat on the nightstand. Moving closer, it looks eerily familiar to whatever it caught your glimpse outside of your work earlier at work. Up close, you can see it in more detail. There seems to be a golden medallion, roughly the same size as your palm, with a pair of curved horns carved at the center of the design. While you're contemplating what to do with the strange object, it simply vanishes. You never took your eyes off it, but one moment it was there, and next just gone. Are we gonna get magical powers too? You run your hand over the surface where it'd just been sitting, but there's nothing. Set an appointment for my cybernetic implant technician for my next day off. Appointment set. A reminder added for the day before. Running basic home diagnostics on all cybernetics. One implant found. Cranial AI integration mod. Running quick scan. All systems report optimal operation. Forwarding detailed reports to your technician for preemptive review. You shrug off the uneasy feeling in your chest and take a shower before heading down to the bar. This is Tavern-ass Tavern. You walk into your favorite local dive. It's a slow night, but seems as though you're the first one here. Yes, grab a drink and find some seats. Man, this place is packed. You order yourself a beer and take a seat at the table near one side of the room. Not much to do but wait. A few minutes after you take a seat, a group of younger-looking men enter the bar. They're fairly loud, but they're nice enough to the bartender that he takes down their orders. It's been a little while since I've been here, but I used to be somewhat of an irregular. I don't recognize anyone in this group. Hopefully, there won't be an issue. You shelved the thought for the time being as Oliver entered the bar. You give him a quick wave as he heads to the bar to order his drink. Oh yeah, I guess I didn't read the synopsis of this game. Bugger. There he is. You ready to get fucked up tonight? I don't know about fucked up, since we still have work in the morning, but I'm ready for a good time at least. Close enough. He takes a long drink. Just what I needed. Is Lily coming? Yeah, I talked to her while we were out on patrol. She's gonna meet us here in a bit. Hell yeah. I've been waiting to get a chance to get her to know her better. Who knows, maybe tonight it can even get real close to her. Heh, maybe it will. Or maybe I'll be the lucky one. A moment later, Oliver spots Lily walking through the door, looking a little nervous as she enters. He motions her over the table, and she takes a seat. Hey guys, thanks for inviting me out. It's been ages since I've done anything after work, since I don't have many friends here in the city. It do be like that. No problem, Lily. We're happy to have you. Can I get you a drink? Yeah, I'd appreciate that, actually. It feels a little weird being in a human bar. Just beer, please. Oliver stands up and heads back to the bartender. Lily reaches across the place and places her paw on my hand as it rests on the table. Are you feeling any better now, Dark? You really seemed out of it earlier today. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better than I was. Thanks for checking up on me this morning. You're welcome, Dark. She gives you a soft smile, and there's a moment of silence where the two of you are looking at each other. You become acutely aware of the heat from her paw resting on your hand. Ulu? She looks like she's about to say something else, but gets interrupted as Oliver makes his way back to the table. She quickly slides her paw from your hand. Oliver sets Lily's drink down in front of her and takes a seat. He picks up his own drink and holds it over to the center of the table. To our first night out as friends. You hold your own glass up. But notice Lily looks a little confused. Oliver notices quickly and turns to her. Sorry about that, Lily. This is a human custom. When celebrating something with a group of friends, you each raise your glass and tap them together, gently before taking a drink. Oh, sure. Seems a little strange. Why not? She raises her own glass, and the three of you toast. The evening is passing quickly, and you had only a few drinks when your AR reports an incoming call. Normally, just ignore it in this situation, but its flags is urgent, and from your immediate supervisor at work. You debate with yourself about ignoring the call, but this is the first time you've been called when you're off the clock, and with an urgent flag. You decide you'd best answer. Hey, sorry guys. Work is calling me, and it's flagged as urgent. I'm gonna step outside and take this real quick. You stand to head outside. Just tell them you're busy. We've got drinking to do. Yeah, I'll only be a second. Lily looks disappointed as you walk out, her eyes lingering on your back. On your back? For just a moment, before she turns to talk to Oliver. How does we know that she's looking at us. Stepping outside in the cold night air. The cold air has cooled off slightly. Wouldn't that be nice? The sun set just a little while ago. You answer the call. So is this kind of like cyberpunk, except with less cyber stuff, and the city is like actually a nice place to live? And has anthros. Unlike cyberpunk, I mean, they have exotics in that thing, but they don't have it in the game. Bah. Yeah, anyways, what's going on, boss? It's unlike you to call me off clock. Your boss is a grizzled man named Walter, and not a grizzly bear, but he's been nice enough during your training. His voice sounds a little annoyed as he speaks. Yeah, I know. Company usually makes it a point that we don't pester you guys while you're off, but this message comes from higher up. Your normal shift tomorrow will be changed along with Oliver and Lily as well. Apparently, they've got something special planned for the three of you. Speaking of, you don't happen to know where Lily is, do you? She's not answering her phone. Yeah, she and Oliver are actually with me right now, having some drinks. I can just pass on the message to them after this. Perfect. Your new instructions are as follows. Arrive at the company headquarters tomorrow at 11 a.m. You'll need your ID badge, but your uniform is not required. That's, cool since, we'll be drinking and 11 a.m. is alright, as long as you're not like me sometimes, who goes under the table. Has been a while since I've had a drink though. Nice. You're starting to get a little nervous. That sounds an awful a lot like you're being fired. You'll still be paid for a full day's work, but they said to expect to only be there for an hour. This goes for all three of you. When you arrive, look for Shoshi. She'll be the yellow-furred fox, with a couple of cybernetic enhancements. Trust me, you'll know when you see her. That's it. I guess one of the bigwigs wants to meet all of you. Don't be late. And don't forget to tell the other two, or I'll be the one in trouble. If that happens, it'll be your ass. Got it? Yes, sir. Good luck. He ends the call. Well, it doesn't make me... Well, that doesn't make me nervous at all. Surely, they're not firing all three of us. Right? No, they can't be it. As far as I know, none of us have ever been reprimanded for anything. You sigh, and decide not to worry about it. For now, and better, just tell the others what's going on. Oh no, things aren't doing well. We've got shadow people here. But, with us hitting that 1 hour mark, and the scene changing, I think that's a good time to call it. Boop. Boop. Oh, fuck. Stuff's happening. That means things are gonna get absolutely serial. But that is gonna be the end of this, quick look. So, please comment, cause comment, tell me what you like, dislike, tip 6, otherwise I'm getting close to the mic to make sure. If you like my YouTube and would like to see it grow, then please subscribe and check out the videos to help it grow, and please remember to spay near your animals to help control the pet population. As far as I've seen this game, you have, let's see, a snake guy who has 2 penises, the characters we have seen before, of course, some saber-toothed lady who would like to bang as well. I mean, yeah, I'm horny. Oh yeah, there's the fox-looking lady there, and then there's the main character son that we've seen before. Not main character son, but, the person that introduced us, who's probably the CEO. But, yeah, if you want to play this game, it's available free on, I think it's like, Subscribestar, Patreon. No, they said F95, that's where I got it, right. But if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the news version earlier, you can go to their Patreon or Subscribestar, which is $5 a month. That's just making sure. Yep, there it is. And if you have any other suggestions for games, tell me, and I'll put it on the visual novel quick look. Though, maybe... Well, let me just do this right here, and then do this, because it seems a bit loud. Boop. I kind of wonder how horny this game is, because if it's super mega horny, might not do Let's Play of it, but I kind of want to do it on my own time, but if I'm going to do it for a Let's Play, then it's like... Well, I don't want to spoil myself, Though I guess I did play Morinatsu before. That's probably the only one I've done that I haven't that I did spoil myself in by playing it a bunch. But yeah, random number generator. Let's see, we got Moonlight Castle, Sex and the Furry Teddy 3, Tavern Spear, and What It Feels Like. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, do 45 and then do 4. Number 1, which is Moonlight Castle. Waiting for it to start up. I might as well bring up the synopsis. Moon is spelled with 2 O's. There we go. Is on. There we go. There we go. It's funny, it's like, this is a work of fiction, but what was I playing something, or was it some kind of meme where it's like, hey, everything is completely, is real, I have a lawyer degree, so sue me. And my... Boop, boop, boop. Okay. Maybe a bit higher. There we go. So, this thing. What is it about? Moonlight Castle is a slice of life, supernatural, horror, mystery, and romance visual novel. The story revolves around 8 college students getting together to explore the ghost castle discovered by a certain someone. You will live their college life during the day, hang out and socialize with friends in the afternoon, and investigate the ancient ruins when the sky becomes dark. Multiple paths and choices will be available some leading to worse or better outcomes. It's all up to you and your partner to protect your friends and find the truth. The main routes will be open to freely explore, allowing the player to see the game from different angles and perspectives. The game will have romance options, both safe for work and NSFW. The effort patch will provide a slight downgrade to certain scenes. The game is heavily tailored for adult audiences, but understand if the safe work version may not live up to the same value. Let's look at the pictures. Maybe you got those characters, but also there's a buffalo, there's like a wolf, there's a tiger, there's a lynx, there's a dragon, there's a gator. That seems to be all the guys. And you can get it for free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game, and I get the news version earlier, possibly, let me just look up the thing. It's $6 a month for early access. Hey, now. And until next time, another quick look at me, Game 06 is some of the game, at being Moonlight Castle. So thanks and see ya.